Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's been a week since we met. How is everyone doing today? Hi, Bazim. Hi, Kaina. Hi, Kamud. Hello, hello. Okay, so are you guys excited for today's session, aka the demo day, the final day of the Webflow series that everyone has been waiting for? Okay, then. So, yeah, so let's get started for today's session. So, we have got some amazing websites to go through today, but we might not be able to go through a lot of the submissions because we actually have a lot of them. So, let's get started. So, for today's session, we have James with us, or who I like to call as Sir James. And as you all would know, James, along with Felix, started up ADPList in April of 2020 as a spreadsheet shared amongst people who lost their jobs during COVID, looking to connect and find opportunities. Fast forward to today, where we are a small community spread across 140 different countries, 14,000 mentors from over 5,000 companies. And yes, as someone actually pointed out in the chat, so maybe we're not that small now. Some refer to us as the largest design community across the globe. So James is also a design educator, tech entrepreneur, and is super interested in Web3 and how it can change the world. By the way, he's the one who designs all the websites for ADPList, be it the ADPList platform or the course websites that you see out there. So over to James, and here we go.
Hi everyone, nice to be here today. I believe today's session is going to be really exciting. I saw really exciting websites and happy to review them. So I'm going to share my screen and take websites one by one. So here we go. Great. So before we go through the websites, here's how today's format is going to be like. For each website that is selected to be reviewed. I'm going to call the person who created the website to just give us an overview for 2 minutes or less if possible, just around what they were thinking about, what goal they were trying to, or problem they were trying to solve. And then I will just do with that person in the call with me. I'll just do a quick 5 minutes review, just going through the website, looking at specific things. So I listed out a few criteria I'll be looking at. The first one has to do with the goal, idea, or impact, what you're thinking about, the presentation in terms of design, case specific website. So, for instance, when we take an e commerce website, I'll be looking at things like the cart, add to product, product page, and all of those stuff. And then also the implementation, how you went about designing your layout, the spacing, and all of those stuff. So that's basically how I'll be going through each website. And yeah, let's just jump right in. So the first one is by Veto. I'm just going to open the website. Is he here with us? Uh, James is from Ghana, actually. Um, is Vito here with us? Cool. Utkash, is it possible for him to unmute and then just quickly tell us something about this website?
Yes, James. Just a moment.
Okay, cool. So while Utkarsh helps us with that, I'll just recap. So just give us a brief idea, up to 2 minutes, quickly, what you are trying to do, what problem you are trying to solve, and then I'll go through these things as well. So just look at the pages and then just give my feedback on the website. The entries you are seeing are just a few selected ones because there are a lot, and so we cannot necessarily go through all of them. So cool. Do you think I should proceed with catch? if probably unmuting him will be a problem.
Yeah, James. I would suggest you can
Okay.
start, and in the meanwhile, I'm bringing up on stage.
All right, cool. So for this first website, he says that it's an e-commerce website. And so I'm going to just treat it as an e-commerce website. So looking at the website, I think it's really I think with the aesthetics, it really catches my attention from a glance. And I think basically what this is trying to communicate is something diversity, inclusion, and the title states that clearly. So I think at a glance, when you hop on this website, you know exactly what you're looking at. Um, I do not see this as, again, landing on this website doesn't look like a traditional e-commerce website. And the good thing about this website is that it states clearly what the goal of this website is. So from the title to the description, even the imagery being used here, and then the call to action directly sends you to the product section, which is I think something he's really done well. In terms of the colors, the layouts, the composition of the website, I think it's well laid out. Um, Straightforward, the menu, very simple menu, our products, and then I see that he has the cart here as well. Since it's an e-commerce website, I'll just go straight to the store and yeah. So as usual, when you see an e-commerce website, you expect that you see the title of the product, you see products, title of the product, and the price and all of those stuff, which has been well laid out here in these grid formats, which looks really attractive. Um, let's see the product details. He has a product details page. Cool. I can actually add to cart. Interesting. The dimension, descriptions, I think one very good thing about this website is, again, it doesn't necessarily look like a traditional e-commerce website, but it does the job really well, from laying out the details of the product, what you can do, how you can add items to carts. And then this is very important here, right? So what proportion of these products being sold, so the money made out of these products, where it actually goes into. It lays out certain, I think, tags here as well to describe the products that is being presented here, which is really good. I'm just going to go through the mobile screen as well. And then I see the website is also very responsive. So the mobile layout shows the product clearly. The image of the product seems the priority here. I have the description. One feedback I'll give here is I would probably prioritize this more as compared to the description, right? Especially on the mobile page. And the reason why I do that is for somebody to make a decision or somebody to just land on a page like this, right? You want to ensure that, okay, some of the first things they see is the product name you are selling, and then the cost of the product, and then ability for them to add to cart, right? So it's right in their face. Things like the description, of course, if they are not convinced, they will probably go down to read more. But I think you should probably prioritize some of these things early on and show them above the fold on the mobile layout. I think with the web layout, um, it does justice to that. But then for the mobile, you see that this is shifted at the bottom. And I think that would be the only thing I'll change. Aside that, visuals are really great. Cat works really well, very responsive website. The menu is really neat and the colors are amazing. So yeah, great job. Like this is really nice. Um, yeah, very mobile responsive website. Cool. And I think another good thing is it's sort of like links to some partner websites. So again, this website is all about inclusion, diversity, and so it's sort of like connecting to other partners that may probably be in the same area as well, which is a good thing to do. So this is very simple. Colors are really neat. Simple e-commerce website, and so this is combining a non-profit sort of or uh, um, a sort of like an impact initiative along with e-commerce, which is a great thing to do. Well done on this, Veto. This is a nice website. I will sort of go to the next one, which is a blog. Um, but Cash, are we able to get them to speak, or it's not possible?
Yeah, we can bring them.
We can't bring them.
We can. Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Cool. So is Irina here with us? Okay, I don't think she's here, or he's here. All right.
I
So I'll
have,
quickly go through the.
yeah, I've invited her to stage.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, Irina. How you doing? I think you're on mute. Okay, I'll just proceed so we save some time. So this is a blog website, and I think basically blog just means that a collection of articles were created. So when you visit a blog website, you are looking out for things like blog posts that are categorized. If there are different categories, some of the things you also look out for are search and then also tags to specific blogs to make it easy for you to discover them. So starting from the top, I think I really like what I see here. There is a light and dark mode, which works pretty well. Um, and then simple navigation, ability for you to subscribe. This is really good. And simple title, simple description, go straight to the point. A lot of white space, really neat. And I see some categories here. So each category leads to a category page that lists a set of articles. So let's go back to the home page. Okay, I believe this is the featured article or the most recent article and descriptions. Okay, cool. So I'm going to click into one of the articles. Okay, cool. I think there is this thing is very important as well, which is a smart thing to do, considering the article does not belong to you. One of the things most people do is they just copy people's articles and then put on their website without referencing or acknowledging the author of the website or the article. And I think this is a very nice thing to do. Aside that, this article is well laid out. It shows that there are multiple authors of the article. Um, I think the only thing I would probably change about this page, and this is probably a personal preference, is sort of to show the category on top, um, at least sooner on the article. So, for instance, if I land on this page from an external resource, right, and I'm looking at this article, I'll probably know, okay, what category this article falls under, right? So perhaps I'm interested in similar articles. It's easy for me to just click on a category and go and see all of those categories rather than later. So the assumption here, I would believe, is the user has finished reading the articles. Now they know the category this article belongs to. But this is something we could actually do earlier on. It doesn't take so much space or real estate on a website. Aside that, I like the fact that you have more articles to read. Another comment I'll probably give is, as your blog grows or as your articles grow, you would want to uh, basically suggest articles that fall in the same category. So Webflow has this functionality or filter that allows you to show articles in the same category, right? So I think that's something you can do here as well. This is a very good one. View all posts. Most people, when they are developing websites, don't have the ability to view all posts, especially after the article or suggestions, which is really good to do. I like the layout. I like the interactions on the buttons. Um, let's see the mobile page. So the mobile page is responsive, looks really good and clean. Cool. Yeah. I think this website is quite well done. Aside a few comments that I mentioned, this is really clean, simple, and straightforward. Um, no unnecessary stuff here. I like the fact that you have the categories right on top here for people to directly go to them if they want. The only other thing I'll also be looking out for is search. Perhaps I have found an article on your website some time back and I probably want to make reference to it. Um, and ideally, most blogs have search. So I think that's something that is missing here. So if you could probably implement that, I think that would be really helpful. There are a lot of platforms that allow you to do that, even in Webflow, right? So Webflow has the native search. There is also attributes by FinSuite, and then there is also JetBoost and other platforms you can actually integrate search that will filter directly from your CMS. So that's something I would suggest you try to improve the experience. I think search is really very essential for uh, directories like this. So yeah, this is really great. Great job on this. Moving on to the next. Um,
James, sorry to interrupt you in between, but a couple of people are actually interested in two things. First is, how are
mhm.
you actually analyzing the designs on mobile? Is it a Google Chrome extension? How are you doing it?
Yes. So there is this extension called what's the name? Responsive. Let me see if I can share the link somewhere. Where is this? Where is this? Oh my goodness. Mobile First. So it's called Mobile First. I'm sharing the link here so everybody can just, yeah. Okay. And you said a
Thank
couple
you.
of things. What else? Is that
Yeah, and
all?
then the second thing is, how can they actually put on that dark mode toggle, just like the website that we were seeing from Irina?
She made it in her website. So it's actually on the website. She implemented it. It wasn't me that toggled it, yeah, which was a
Great.
great thing. It's good for, she's thinking a lot of accessibility here as well. So great job, yeah. All right, cool. So moving on to the next one. Cheryl, is she there?
No, she isn't.
Okay, cool. So this is supposed to be a local business NGO. So let's see. Okay. Articles are not my sources stated. Okay, she has a disclaimer here. First off, I think this is a clean navigation with a logo at the center. I barely see websites like this, but this works. This does justice. I think she has login and sign up page. She has a home, up charts across. Okay. So I'm going to view this. Usually when I'm going to websites, I usually use, again, this extension is very useful. I usually use the MacBook Air just so I can view the websites like almost every other person. Um, okay. So this is supposed to be a local business or an NGO, but it looks like it's a blog. I don't know if we got the categories wrong here, but this looks like a blog more than a local business anyway. So again, simple hero section is showing a featured article. So I assume when I click in, it shows me the article that I need to read, which is a good one. Um, I think she's trying to implement a gradient here, but it didn't seem to work well. Perhaps she could probably sort of like blend it a bit more, or even avoid it as a whole. So I think for most websites, I personally wouldn't recommend people doing things like this. If you can just create a new section, just create it. Unless there is a need for you to create a gradient like this or blend things through, I would advise to just keep it very simple and straightforward. Also, another thing which is design is the tag and the buttons almost look the same, right? Just a color difference. So I would probably make this more tag-like, so smaller with lesser focus or um, colors that do not pop too much, and then perhaps increase the size of the button a little so it looks like a button. And also the interaction here, the delay. I think she's using the transition time is too much, a bit higher. So you can see that it takes some time to change color. I think when you're adding interactions to your elements on the website, just keep the transition time a bit low. Probably keep a standard of 300 milliseconds or 400 milliseconds is fine. And also, when you're having interactions on elements like buttons and all of those stuff, don't make drastic changes. You can probably increase or decrease the background a little instead of change the whole thing. Yeah, I think that works. And then there is this space here. Let me see how it looks on mobile. Okay. Mobile is not very responsive, so the menu is too large. This can be decreased a bit more. You can see that it's sort of overlaying on the header here. Uh, there is so much space, and then the animation, sliding animation here has delayed a lot. And I think there is a little issue with the readability in text. So these texts are really small, considering this has articles to be read or a site for articles. I think this is too small. The menu is too big. So you can realize that it's covering a lot of the content or space on the mobile screen, which is not the best. And also, I think there is just too much space here as well. Let's go to an article and see. Yeah, so I would stop reviewing the mobile. I think it hasn't been taken into consideration that much. Desktop looks fine. Again, I will probably check this tag a little bit or increase the size of the button. Typography, the font, not sure what exactly is happening here. But again, these spaces here, I think the, the she copied the text from another website, so she didn't take into consideration the spacing here, which happens more often when you copy content from another website to Webflow. But I think this can just be fixed by reducing or removing these spaces here. Um, Aside that, block quote looks big enough, catches attention, which is okay. The text, let's see the font size 14. So I think another advice, if you are designing a website with a lot of copy, you should probably pay more attention to typography and how you lay out your text. So things like the width of the text, the maximum width of the paragraph, the line height, the size of the text. So I would probably advise keeping it at probably 16. So at least it's standard for even the browser or everybody, most people to be able to read. Line height seem okay, color seem okay, accessible enough. Um, yeah, and then we have some text here. Also, when you're designing a blog, ensure that you have figure title. So Webflow has that functionality where you can add a figure title here, just for accessibility as well. And yeah, aside that, I think the transitions are quite smooth enough, especially when the articles are coming in. Basic colors are okay, colors are accessible enough, just those small layout issues, and this could be fine. So, yeah, Cheryl, if you watch this later on, do make those updates, check your navigation, and let's see where this goes. So, moving on to the next.
James, a quick one before we invite Shreya to stage. So people are again
Mhm.
asking what typography identification extension we're using.
Okay, this is called What Font. It's on Google. So yeah, you can just roll over. I think they have a Twitter. I don't know. Oh, okay. I didn't know it does this as well. So, what fonts? Yeah, what font like this right here? It helps you identify the typography on the page quickly and easily. Let me see if I can find the. Yes. So here we have it. Yes. Cool. Okay. Shreya, she's here, right?
Yeah, hi James.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm joining in from India actually. So it's
Great.
night right now. Yes.
Yeah. So just quickly give us a brief background on your project, what problem you're trying to solve, and I'll take it from there.
Yeah, so out of all the case studies, I chose the NGO one. So basically, I wanted it to be around maybe an organization that helps tie up with NGOs, and so you can directly help them. And I decided to focus on NGOs, particularly that focus on children's issues or education or healthcare. And because we were supposed to create 4 sub pages, I chose 4 NGOs to focus on. These are actual NGOs that operate in India. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that context. Yeah, I love impact projects. So yeah, let's have fun with your project. So first things first, I think there is a little issue with the nav bar on top. I'm not sure what is happening, but I think you did probably did not cater for a wider screen. So let's start from MacBook Air. Yes, so as you can see, navbar works well on this screen, but then on a larger screen, so like MacBook Pro, you see that it shifts to the left here. So
Yes, you're
usually,
right.
yeah. So usually, what you can do is just, I think Webflow allows you, gives you a navbar already, or you can use containers that auto fits in the middle, and then just go with that as well.
Got it.
Um, yeah, I love this. Clean navigation is straightforward. I like the typography, the font you are using here. It's quite friendly, which is great. I love the image here. Clearly communicates what sort of where we are going. Let's see. You have partners, our team. And I love the spacing, right? So you see that there is a some consistency with the spacing. So when you look on top down, there is enough spacing, breathing area for the content, even though it doesn't seem to be very consistent, but I think it works. I also like the fact that you sort of separated each section with some background color. And I love the image, the layout you have here. Again, the issue you are facing here is centering these items here. So usually you just fix this by adding auto on the margins. So make the left side auto, the right side auto, and then the item would directly fit in the center. What our partners say.
Oh
So
yeah,
this is
one
great.
thing I would like to point out is maybe so I directly used a Figma to Webflow plugin. So I don't know
Mhm.
if like post doing that maybe while fixing the site on Webflow there could have been some issues, which is why I think it's not center aligned. So yeah, maybe I'll look into that.
Yes. So it's actually very easy to fix. Just add auto to the left and right of the
Understood.
main container. Yeah.
Got it.
This is great. Also, another thing is I'm seeing some inconsistencies in the text or font sizes. So usually, I think most designers will encourage to keep a few different font sizes. So, for instance, if um, this is 14, yes, it's fine. This is 18. Usually they would suggest keeping a font size consistent between for the body to be 16 and 18, right? So for this, what I would do is I would probably make this 16. Right? So I'll make this 16. So again, right, it's readable, it's consistent with this title here, it's consistent with this description here, right? Everything else seems very consistent, right? So when people are reading, there isn't too many different hierarchies to the text. So you know that you are for titles, you are using this one. For description text, you are using the inter that you are using. Concepts are consistent. Everything else is consistent. And I like the fact that you are using the font weight to differentiate between the hierarchies here, which works really well as well. Also, I think another thing is this for copy heavy stuff, as I said earlier on, right? Ensure they are very readable. So again, I'll make this 16 and then just fix the layout a bit more. And
Got it.
yeah, so let me quickly jump to the specific pages. Cool. Again, right? Spacing issue here. So I think this is more of a design thing. You group similar elements, right? So with the title and then the description, you probably group them together. They're a bit closer. And then a button, which is a different element, can also have a little distinction or space between it so that the interface is formatted properly for
Makes
people, just
sense.
like you have for these sections as well.
Understood.
Uh, yeah. I think this you did really well, which is a great one. Let me just go to the mobile page. Okay, for mobile page, this looks good. Uh, Again, right? The navigation, ensure that the colors are consistent. So,
Yes, I haven't at all worked on the navigation actually.
all right, cool. So yeah, spacing is great. Looks really good. Image works. Again, the spacing between the title and the rest of the pages or the rest of the
Right.
items on the page, you can check on mobile.
Got it. Oh, there's
This is
one
for
question. Yes. So in this particular section where we come the photos of the team members. So I had an issue with you see this black outline thing that's coming. So that ideally shouldn't be there. I wasn't really sure what I did wrong here because the image is not fully eclipsed within that circle.
right. So I see that there is something behind here, right?
Yes, right. So I couldn't quite figure out what the reason could be for that.
Right. Okay. Okay, we might probably need to spend some time looking into this, but I'm sure there is a background somewhere. You've added a background somewhere on the image wrapper that is causing that issue. So all you
Okay,
need to do is just check whichever item this is in and then remove any background that is there. And I think
got
that
it.
should fix your issue.
Sure.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, amazing work. Try to fix the layout issues here, and yeah, let's see what you come up with.
Thank you. Thank you for the feedback.
Welcome. Next, Jasmine. Okay, Jasmine is a dog lover. You can see. Okay, I think there's a question. Is MacBook Air the ideal screen size for design? It depends. It depends on your personal preference, actually. I just use this as a reference because most standard desktops and most Windows machines usually have similar resolutions to the MacBook Air. That's why. And so if you are using a MacBook Pro, sometimes it's easy for you to design for MacBook Pro and ignore the smaller resolution screens. So yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I'm joining from London.
Nice. You're a dog lover, are you?
I am. I am a dog lover, inspired by my dog, which is none of these dogs, though.
Cool. So what are you trying to solve with this?
So with this one, I actually started off creating more of a traditional e-commerce layout, but I struggled quite a bit with it. So I went back to basics and just used like large images. And I tried to get the parallax style here as well. So when you scroll, you see another video appearing. Well, you see a video appearing and you see the others behind. So yeah, with the homepage, I was trying to just make it quite a luxury kind of feel for this dog brand. And yeah, with the rest of the sites, as the pages go on, I think you can tell like I started doing less and less. But the
Right.
main thing was really to use the CMS and see how that can be used, which I really enjoyed using.
Great. Yeah. I think yeah, trying to achieve the luxury feel. Usually most luxury sites do some things like this. So I think one of the things that I really like is this transition here, the navigation bar, how it changes from dark to light here. I think it really looks great. And also, I think the button, even though the interaction looks really great, it's sort of like I think there isn't much enough contrast compared to how the color of the dogs versus the button here. So
Yeah.
somebody might easily miss the button, but I love the interaction. Yeah, and then I love this parallax. I quite remember when I started Webflow. It was one of my best things to actually do. I just love it. So yeah, it looks good. I like the video for storytelling. It's something people relate with a lot, especially for sites, for e-commerce sites and all of those stuff that are trying to sell something to people. So yeah, really good. To the shop section, right. So I think the first thing is more of a design thing. So usually when designing sections like this, which have some description, you want to keep this text a bit constrained. So maybe what you can do is, let's see, maximum width of let's say 3 ch. Okay, so you want to keep something like somewhere like this.
Yeah.
So just to ensure some readability, and then also make it easy for because people are just going all over the site, and sometimes it's very difficult to read. So that's something you could probably look into. I love the product images; they are very clear. You know exactly what you are looking into, which is something you've really done well. And I love this section as well. It just tells me to buy something, which is great. I love it, and I love the payments you've added here. So on the products page, I think one feedback on copy here would be it should be a direct call to action. So for instance, when I see these, the idea I get is not necessarily I know what you're trying to say. So shop this item, but then
Mhm.
the idea I get is it's taking me to the shop, right? So probably buy now or buy this item or something that speaks to the users, right? Would be very helpful here. So when I click on it, I know that I'm coming to buy this item or I'm coming to view product, right? Instead of saying shop. And also, another thing I could probably advise is if you can have add to cart. So for users who just want to add items quickly and move on, right? Probably they are here, they already know the product you sell. They want to buy multiple items. You would want to sort of add to cart somewhere here. with quantity, right? So it's easy for those people to just add. So for returning customers who, okay, usually they order bulk items and then want to order quickly and just go, you don't expect them to go to each page to add to cart. No, you would want to make it easy for them to do that as well. So
Yeah.
that's just one feedback. I love the breadcrumbs you have here.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was something I was trying out, but they didn't. I couldn't link them back. So I think if you click on apparel, it doesn't go back to it. I was struggling a little
yeah.
bit with that one.
Yes, so usually it works when you have like a shop page. So you have a standard shop page, and each shop has a category. So for instance, we have a category called apparel. So usually you create a category page for the e-commerce CMS items, right? So if there is a category, you usually just link this category to that category page, and then it works for you. So that's something you can also look into. Here, I think one thing I'll also feedback here is the quantity. Even though this works, I would probably prefer having a plus or minus if those are available for users to be able to just increase the quantity if they want to. Otherwise, if there is nothing here, so for instance, you have this input field, you have this button, right? If there is so much space here, you can probably put the button next to it, or
Yeah.
you can actually make this full width as well. So just it affords enough space for the user to actually increase or perform any action they want to do.
Some of the other
Um,
size added in as well, so that sits above them.
okay. Um, okay. So yeah, there is this
So,
as well.
yeah, the quantity amount could still change to a plus and a minus. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see the mobile page, how it looks on mobile. Um,
I think the responsiveness on the whole site itself was something I struggled with,
mhm.
especially on this page when you scroll down to the grid for the features. I had actually created a grid and put the text in a separate field, in a separate grid block to where the image was, and then I had to go back and add it in because when I went to responsive, it grouped all of the images together and then all of the text together, and then I had to go back and
Yeah.
change to put it in a div block where it contained all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think most people make this mistake a lot. So Webflow grid actually, one thing you can actually do with a Webflow grid, or a trick you can do, is when you create a Webflow grid, instead of adding the elements directly in the grid, just add a div, and then inside that div, you add all the items that go into a specific grid cell. So have divs inside the grids, and inside those divs, you add your element, even if it's just one element. So just to be safe, once you probably need to add something later on, or probably add more detail to that item, it's easier than just redesigning the whole grid again. So something you can just keep in mind. That should fix your problem here as well. Um, so let's test add to cart.
It didn't work. I don't know why it didn't, but I kind of got to the point where I gave up.
Right. Yeah, I think this is I think generally the design looks great. Just a little issue here with contrast, accessibility as well. Um, the interaction here works. I like the fact that I use the video background. And also this section is amazing. I love the imagery and everything. Your footer looks great as well. I like the colors you are using, and then the interaction on the nav bar here. So I think what you can fix is this particular section, the copy here, and also add to cart quick action here. And then when you go to the page, you just probably increase this full width or just add a plus and minus. And I think that works. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for your feedback.
welcome. Okay, next is Abdul.
Yeah, we don't have Abdul with us in the session today.
Okay, so let me just quickly go through this. I think I like the design. The only thing is this information here, the copy is hidden behind the elephants. I think it should, if it's important, we should be able to read it. I love the title. I love the interaction animation here. It looks really good. The design looks great. The colors looks great. I like the fact that he's playing with the images here. One feedback is again less contrast on the text and background, so probably he could darken the image a little. Also, if he wants to center this, it's probably worth centering. If not, aligning to the left also works.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello, hi, James.
Hi. Okay. So, and I think there is an empty space here. Probably this is project is not complete. But yeah, generally colors are great. Design looks great. Images look great. Just a little more on the contrast, alignment, and yeah, most stuff should work. If it was on a call, I would have probably spent more time on this. Um,
Yeah. So by the way, Abdul is here with us.
Yeah, hello,
oh,
hi.
okay. Sorry. So yeah, I think as I said, this text is important, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we'll probably want it to show for us to be able to read it. But I think simplicity, the typography you are using, um, how you played with the images here looks really great. And again, right, it's either left aligned or you center it if that's the goal. So all the elements, I think how do you call this? Uh, uh, Something called composition. So if all of them are left aligned, the button should also be left aligned as well. If the goal is to center all of them, then try to center all of them as well if you can. And also for contrast, you would probably want to darken the background color a bit so the text is readable if you can. Sometimes I see people using gradients, so they use the gradients darker at the bottom so the text is readable. That's something you can also try as well. I like the grid layout you have here, very simple, straightforward. I like the images you are using, really high definition image. Uh, Not sure what exactly is supposed to happen here, but I assume that's a mistake.
Yeah, so I struggle very much with spacing when I create this website. I tried my best to utilize between container and div block. I'm still not sure the difference between these two, but most of the time that's like the main thing that I struggle with, even during when I create a responsive section of the website.
Yeah. So container and div block, I would say if you are beginning, I know a lot of experts or Webflow developers prefer to use the div block because they have control over everything. I think Webflow does a good job with helping beginners with basic elements like container. So container, how it works is it contains the item to the middle, to the center, right? So when you use a container, you realize that container has auto on the right and left, and then everything is in the center, is constrained for you. So I think that's the safest thing to use. For spacing, I would also advise to just add padding or margin to the items. I know people prefer to use div blocks as spacing, so you realize that they have a class for a specific div. So when you add the class to the div height increases to provide spacing between elements. I wouldn't advise doing that if you're a beginner. Just add padding or margin to the items just to space them out as well. Sometimes, if you're not able to control the responsiveness of the spacing, it becomes very difficult for you to manage it if you're using div blocks. I see you are using Relium. Relium library comes out of the box with some spacing classes. Maybe when you spend some time reading their documentation, that should help. But yeah, this visually looks great. Just fix the spacing issues, the alignment issues, the background contrast issue, and I think you have a really amazing website.
Thank you so much, James.
Welcome. Okay, we have Kojo Maoli. Is he with us?
Yes, on stage now.
Nice. Kojo, do you want to take a minute to explain what you're trying to do?
Yes. Hi, James. Kojo from Togo, and I try to build a website to promote local business through people and their skills instead of stores. So
Right.
that okay. So that's it.
Cool. I think one thing I love about this website is this looks really good. And I like this caption here. I think it sort of like communicates the goal or the mission or the impact you're trying to drive here, which is really great. I love the navigation, very simple. I love the colors that you're using. I like this as well. The only thing is, which are very smaller details, is so you realize that when you hover on the button, and I think most people make this mistake a lot, you realize that the sort of it twitches a little here. So what you could do to avoid this is for the hover state, ensure that you still have the stroke around the button to ensure that it doesn't change, because right now I see that when you hover, you are removing the stroke, which shouldn't be so.
Okay.
Yeah, I like this section really great. I like the font you're using. Um, I think your spacing is also great. Section here, it's consistent. Uh, I the only thing also is the text, right? So when you look at this, so when you're looking at the website, what I'm looking at is okay, this is the heading title, and then usually the description has its own font size and weight, right? And so for readability, I would want to keep these description texts consistent for most cases, right? So I avoid to use too many font sizes. So if I'm using 16, let's see, you're using 18, I would probably advise you um, use 18 here. Where is this? Where is this? Yeah. So I'll probably advise you using 18 so it's consistent with this. It looks more readable and consistent. I like these cards. Yeah. And also, I think another thing is I like this section, but another thing you could do is check the line height for readability, right? So usually for paragraph line height. So for instance, to sort of keep things consistent, what I would advise you to use is use relative line height. So something like percent. So you can do something like 150%, right? So you see it gives enough space and makes it more readable. So you see the difference, right? It
Yeah.
makes it more readable. Another thing you can do is you can probably learn more about the relative sizes for line height and all of those. So if you don't like percentages, you can use 1.5 dash. Um, 1.5 also works. This is supposed to work in Webflow anyway. So there is Webflow allows you to enter 1.5 dash, which also uses is the same as 150% as well. That also works really well. So just ensure that the text is readable. I like the hover state. It's not too different from the original states, but then also gives you that interactive feel as well. Um, Again, right, for readability, you would want to give this a bit more line height, just to make it more readable. And I think there is a little bit inconsistency here, right? So you see you have a border radius on the button, but here you do not, right? So
Mm.
this is sharp. Just make sure that they are consistent across the various screens sections. And then also the grid here, maybe the shadow is a bit too much, but yeah, personal preferences, probably keep the shadow a bit lighter, or maybe use a white background for the card and then a gray background for the background itself, just to create that contrast again. And then also a little bit spacing here would do
Okay.
as well. Yeah. um I think aside that, everything else is more of like texts and let's see the mobile. Okay, pretty well. So yeah, there is a little issue here. I'm not sure you worked on the responsiveness, did you?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay, cool. So yeah, great job. This looks really good. Yeah, looking forward to the improvements you are going to make to this particular website. But yeah, looks really good.
Thanks, James.
Welcome. Utkarsh, our time is up. Do we still have a little bit more time to go through a few more, or
Yeah,
we have a hard stop?
we can quickly go through the last one.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. So the last one is Emerald. Nice. Hi, Emerald.
Hi.
Hey.
So, I ended up creating a blog, and one of my passions is holistic health. So, I decided to focus my blog on that. And it was my first time creating a Webflow site. So I mostly just focused on how to drag items onto the canvas and getting familiar with using container and div block. And then I also spent some time really just trying to understand CMS and creating a collection list, which I was able to figure out. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
Cool. So I think first off, I love the colors. Yeah, I think it's just giving me what's the name, headspace vibes and all of those vibes. I really like the colors. I like the font you're using. I like this imagery. You love happiness, which is great. Um, yes, so let's get started. So navigation is okay. Not sure what this space is about, but I believe that's probably a mistake. So ideally, this whole section should probably have this background. And also, okay, so I would probably assume this is more of an information site or a blog, just a blog. So for this section, right, what you can do is align this to the left because the text is really big. And again, right, you would want to have a container to the website if possible. Otherwise, for websites that stretch based on the site's width or the desktop or the screen that you're using, usually you realize that they scale along with the text, right? And that one is hard to actually implement. So what I would advise is for a section like this, you would use the Webflow container elements. So with the container elements, it keeps the website within a specific constraint for you, just to keep things more organized. Um, yeah, same goes for this section. I like the way the images look. Again, right, a bit too much space in here. Maybe reducing it a little would help a lot. And yeah, pretty simple and straightforward site. Before we go to the blogs, let's see the mobile. So yeah, we can get rid of this space here and also format the nav bar a little. Um, I like the fact that this is centered on mobile. There is enough spacing here, which is good. The typography looks great. Um, yeah, you would want to check this as well. Again, right, if you are using this serif font for, I don't know if it's, yeah, serif font for headings, just like this, you would want to keep it consistent for the blogs as well. So that's something you can definitely look into. So the container here, the spacing, serif font for title, since you are using that here and here as well. Yeah, for the blog page, I like this, very simple. I like that you have your profile here. Again, right, just a little bit, making it a bit more readable. You could probably make the font size 16. and line height 150%, just to make it a bit more readable for users as well, so it's easier to read. And also, yeah, this section you could probably either center them or left align, whichever one works. Just ensure that they are consistent across. I see that you have the serif font as title here. This looks really great, unlike the homepage that does not have that particular font here. So yeah, let's see the blog page on mobile. Okay, looks consistent. Probably reduce the font size a little. Image looks great. Maybe making it full width would help a lot. Again, font size would probably a little larger. Maybe 16 would help. Big section as well. Ensure that these things are centered, just to be consistent across, and then maybe a little more spacing between each article or post would really help a lot. But this looks great. I think the colors really do the justice for me, and I like the illustration you have here, which is looking really great. Well done.
Thank you.
Great. I believe that's the last one.
Yes, that was indeed the last one. Not the last one actually, but yeah, because of the time constraints restricted here. I'm so sorry if others who would not be featured now. Yeah, we will definitely try and have something again wherein we can feature you and give you a time slot. So that was quite a
Yeah.
beautiful session, James. I would say I've attended as well as hosted a lot of sessions, but it is very, very rare wherein people send you messages saying, "Can we please extend the session? Can we please extend the session?" So yeah, it was really a beautiful one. Thanks a lot, James, for joining us today. By the way, I was
Welcome.
just
Brilliant.
wondering if you are also going to maybe make some announcements. So basically, every time Felix has been joining us, he comes up with some big announcements and then it breaks the internet and everyone gets hyped up.
Oh, I didn't really see that coming. Well, Felix is a man of mostly Santa Claus coming with good news all the time. Um, he usually does a lot of announcements. How many does he usually do?
Let's do three, maybe. Ginny does three, so maybe yeah, let's do three.
Okay, so I should keep up to the three.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll try and give three announcements, no promises per se. I think the first one I'll say is really love the submissions, everything that I've seen. There are a lot more that have not been featured, but yeah, don't worry. I think we have a gift for you. ADPList always comes with amazing stuff, and so what we are planning to do is we want to feature all of the works you people have done. There are really amazing submissions that have been given or made. Some of you have completed yours, some of you not. But we want to encourage you guys to complete it, and then we are going to literally feature all of your submissions on a course page, so that the world can see the amazing work you've done. And yeah, we want to celebrate you. So yeah, keep up the good work, keep your submissions coming, and we are going to feature all of them on our course page as well. So yeah. And I think the second announcement is yes, how many of you, I'm sure a lot of you are looking for mentors, are looking to book sessions with people in no code and Webflow and want to see group sessions happening, office hours, and all of those stuff. So excited to announce that very soon uh, you would be able to provide mentorship in no code if you are a Webflow developer or a no code developer and a mentor on ADPList. And also, if you are learning Webflow, you should be able to book sessions with mentors now on Webflow or any other no code tool. You will start seeing group sessions on no code, and yeah, pretty excited. I am definitely going to open my calendar once the category is activated, so you guys can book sessions with me as well. So yeah, um, look out for that as well. That's all on my side.
Wait, you said three announcements, right? You only did two.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay. The last one was supposed to be a surprise. Okay, I think if you should check your inbox right now, for those who have qualified, your graduation certificates should be in your inbox. So congratulations. I don't know if there is a confetti or a sound that we need to play here, but congratulations for congratulations. I wish everybody can react to the confetti. Let's see that reaction. Woo! Nice, nice, nice. I can see a lot of confettis. So congratulations for all of you who joined this session. Really, really impressive of you guys to be part of this and then make it to the end and submitting everything, doing everything that you need to do. Happy to see a lot more Webflow and no-code developers changing the world. Yep.
Well, that was something. Thanks a lot, James. And thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us. Thanks a lot for being a part of the series. You guys have been a lovely audience. And as James said, it does not really stop here. We will be bringing more content around no code, be it with group sessions, AMAs, different content like series or something big like competition. So, yeah, stay tuned. Keep an eye out on the social. And till then, share your learnings on social using the hashtag Webflow with ADPList, and see you in the next one. And by the way, we are making another big announcement on the coming Tuesday. That is Feb 21st. So keep an eye on our socials. See you all. Bye bye.